Hi, here we are in our notes. We just did our quiz last video, and now we're going to work through the metric system. And so I'm hoping that most of you have seen the metric system a little bit and have a feel for it, but if not, we'll get you comfortable with it here real quick. So the metric system has an abbreviation. It stands for, it also goes by the SI system. There's two other abbreviations for it. It's also called the MKS system. That would be meter, kilogram, and second. And the other one is called the CGS system. That would be the centigram. This is an older one. Actually centimeter. I had that wrong. Gram, and then second. I need to be able to write this so you can see it and know what's going on. So there it is. So the MKS system is the meter kilogram second. That's the new one, the more recent one. And the old one is a CGS system. They used to define stuff in terms of centimeter, the gram, and then the second. So there it is, and we'll move on. So you should know that inside of the metric system, where this is how it, I guess you could say it's set up, that it's always by base tens. So so for example, well, we'll come back to that one. I think if I do that at the beginning, that'll confuse you. So the base is basically here in the middle, and if you go out, if you take the base and multiply it times a factor of 10, we have a name for that. And the name for that, if I can focus in here just a smidgen, is a decameter. And the abbreviation for a deca is dA. And if I put the base here as a meter, like an M, then I can call this a decameter. If I take the base and multiply it by not 10, but by 100, you should know that 10 squared is 100, then we get a hecta. And the abbreviation for that would be HM, hectometer. And then we can kind of just keep climbing out. So we're going to go 10 cubed. This would be 1,000. And hopefully you are familiar with that one. That's a kilometer. 10 to the fourth. I've never seen the abbreviation for 10 to the fourth, or for that matter, 10 to the fifth. So I've never seen those. However, we do have 10 to the sixth, and 10 to the sixth is a pretty important one. This is a megameter, and so it's a big M, little m, megameter, and these are all in powers of 10. All right, if I go back over here, so the base here is actually 10 to the 0 power. That has a value of, you could say, 1. All right, if we go the other way, instead of multiplying, but we divide now, 10 to the minus 1, which actually is multiplying, but it's really dividing by 10. This would be a decimeter. The next one, 10 to the minus 2, that would be taking a meter and dividing it by 100. That would be a centimeter. Can you hear the word century, 100? So there's dividing it by 100. The next one is 10 to the minus 3. There's your millimeter. 10 to the minus 4th and 10 to the minus 5th don't have prefixes that I know of, at least. And then 10 to the minus 6th then is going to be micro. Micro is a Greek letter. Micro is abbreviated with the Greek letter mu, and mu is a Greek letter that looks like that. It's got like a little front tail on it. It looks like a U, but a little tail on it. All right, so we didn't show all of the abbreviations just there in the metric system, but below I've posted quite a few of them, of the other ones. So this is these guys over here are basically the base multiplied by a certain number, and these guys over here are the base divided by a certain number. And those are the ones that you'll probably come across this year. All right, on your equation and constant sheet, they are also on there. So if you go to your orange equation and constant sheet, right in the middle on the back side, there they are. All right, and so those are the ones that you'll be getting on the test. Those are the ones that you won't have to have memorized, but will be very, very handy for you. So there's those. We also need to discuss the front cover of your textbook, and I'm twisting around searching for a textbook for you. And so here's your textbook. Actually, you're going to have to give me a moment so I can get, actually, I got my teacher's edition. I need to get the actual student edition. Give me 1 second. Alright, so actually that was probably more than 1 second, but I hope you can forgive me. And so here's I'm back on the video here. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the textbook. This guy has some nice information in the front and back covers. So here is the front cover, a list of everything you need, and those will be pretty important later on. So you've got them in a couple different places. You've got them in your in your notes. You got them on the equation sheet, and you also have in the front cover of your textbook. So just let you know where they're at. That's all. And actually, hey, check this out. How about that? Just as a little thing, the 7 base units to the metric system, and there they are. Those are the ones we went through a little while ago. So they're there. All right, moving along. Key idea. All right, this is kind of moving us forward a little bit. Prefixes can be used in place of scientific notation. All right, and if we flip over the page, we've got several examples that we're going to actually work through. And I am frantically looking for my calculator. I thought I had my calculator kind of handy. Here it is. And so we're going to do calculations with things in scientific notation, and we're also going to use the metric system and the prefixes. So here's the first one. Some of these are pretty easy. Some of these are a little bit so, I guess you could say, not necessarily intuitive. But I think you're going to catch on to it very quickly by the time we get to the end. So 56 times 10 to the negative third meters. All right, what you need to know is this. That anytime you see something written in scientific notation, we can take it out of scientific notation and use a prefix, I guess you could say, to take it out of scientific notation. So for example, 10 to the minus third, if you flip it over, go back to the last page, 10 to the minus third right here is milli. So what we're going to do, instead of saying 10 to the minus third, we can cross this out and put milli. So then we get 56 millimeters. So the goal of this example, I guess you could say example number 2, is learn how to convert between regular notation, scientific notation or regular notation, and then notation that has suffixes or prefixes. All right, the next one. 45.6 times 10 to the 6th grams. Let me flip the page over. We're looking for 10 to the 6th, and there it is right there. 10 to the 6th is mega with a big M. So instead of writing 10 to the 6th, we can write a big M, and there's a gram. So it's 45.6 megagrams. The abbreviation for gram is G. Just keep moving on. Now we're going to go the other way. So we see a micro. Micro, if we go back, micro is right here. It's times 10 to the minus 6th. So instead of writing micro, I can go times 10 to the minus 6, and I got to squeeze that in now. So it's going to be 89 times 10 to the minus 6th grams. All right, why don't you take a moment, stop the video, and try the next two on your own. I'll give you a hint. CD stands for Candelas. Don't let that one throw you off. So give it a whirl, 4 and 5, and I'll do 6 and 7 with you. All right, so here's number 4. We have the E in front of there, and this is a new one. You got to kind of hunt for it a little bit. E is exa, and that's times 10 to the 8th. So I'm going to come back up here, cross out the E, and put times 10 to the 8th. Did I say that right? Actually, it's times 10 to the 18th, not 8. And then write it out. So it's 0.348 times 10 to the 18th candelas. Next one's pico. Pico is over here. It's times 10 to the minus 12th. And if I flip it over, times 10 to the minus 12th, and liters. So it's 3 times 10 to the minus 12th. and the abbreviation for liters is the lowercase l. Okay, the next one is a little bit trickier, and we're going to do it in stages actually. So we're going to basically get rid of the tera first. So let's look backwards and let's find tera. So where's tera? Tera is times 10 to the 12th. So over here we're going to scratch out tera, and we'll put times 10 to the 12th. And so we're going to write this whole thing out. So we got 78 times 10 to the minus third times 10 to the 12th meters. Then we got to go back to our algebra. We know that if we multiply these two guys together, we can simply add their exponents. So that becomes 78 times 10 to the, let's see, that'll be 9th meters. And then I want to convert it back to a notation with suffixes. So if I go backwards, then I'm looking for times 10 to the 9th. So times 10 to the 9th, where's it at? Here it is. And that's giga. That's a big G. So if I flip it back over, I can go 78 giga meters. So I want you to take a moment, stop the video, and try number 7 on your own. Then I'll do it with you in just a moment. All right, we're back. We're going to run through this one. We're looking for nano. So if I flip it over, nano sits right over here, times 10 to the minus 9th. And so I'll go ahead and substitute that, minus 9. So it's 9 times 10 to the 12th times 10 to the minus 9th, and then amps. Okay, we can do the same thing, put these together, so that becomes 9 times 10 to the third amps. Alright, and then we can look up 10 to the third, and if we look up 10 to the third, 10 to the third is right here. That's cubed. So that'll be kila. So that'll be 9 kila, and the abbreviation for amps is A. So there it is. And that's through example number 2.